BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/Berlin Explorer. So welcome to 50 Minutes of Experience. Today I'm with Ada Jakimiuk. Welcome, Ada.
Hello, it's nice to meet. Hi, I am a Polish-based photographer. I can say I am an amateur photographer. I used to do some part-time photography work, but I was never a full-time photographer really. But that allowed me to have a lot of freedom with what I do, to find what interests me, what kind of photography is my favorite, what speaks to, to me really.
Yeah. It's really nice your picture, I have to say. Doesn't matter if you are professional or amateur. I think today really a lot of professionists are not good like the amateur, we can say. But depends of kind of photography. But it's really interesting the work you do. It especially the last period is all focused on your private life, your child, and your children in general. And it's really curious and particular the approach you have.
It has changed over the years, because when I started out, I was this photographer who wanted to iron out all the details, to be as professional as I can. I used to do a lot of portrait sessions in studio with multiple lights, with digital, and it was all very nice. But after a while, it got kind of empty for me, an empty experience. It was all aesthetic and nice, but something was missing. So I started out with film, and I was doing some street photography. Then I moved to studio, and then I went back to film again. This time in some, as you can see, a lo-fi, more dreamy fashion, to portray those most important moments and feelings for me. And I'm glad that some people liked it, which was kind of surprising for me, because it's kind of very obscure what I do.
Yes, it's really nice stuff. It's not something So I say to say it's really nice vision. It's you have really intensive pictures, and I'm scrolling your profile right now, and there are really few, probably 2 picture I don't like, but for the rest are really quite intensive. Every picture you have here, and in a way it's also interesting because you share a lot about your private life, and is also really particular. Not everyone has this approach to the private life.
I think they are private. They are. But on the other hand, I think they're fairly universal. They speak to the universal moments and feelings, and that can speak to anyone. They don't need to know you. They don't need to know about your private life, but they can understand the feelings and the moments. And that's, I think, the art in the personal. That's the way I see it. You can turn the most personal things into something more universal for anyone.
Yeah, for sure. It's something private, but that everyone can try in the life, can have. It's a moment of the life, I think. If we want to talk about what is private and what is not, so we can say there are stuff much more private than this. And
And I think it's kind of timeless. I want to capture the timelessness of those moments. They are elusive and very short, but there is something about them that I think speaks to anyone. because it's not like a particular picture from my holidays. It's about the moment, the feeling, that certain magic, that can happen only in more intimate photographs. The way I see it, you can take the most beautiful model, put her in a very controlled light and environment, and it can still be, empty, not really interesting, because over time, I think I'm speaking for myself, of course. Uh,
I can
just
say,
the aesthetics just aren't enough. There
I
has to
can,
be something more personal, so the photograph can have its power. I think it can't be boring, right?
yeah, depends. There are photographers for me are boring.
But that's the way I see it. If the pictures are boring, then I don't I don't see point to them. For me, the picture to has a point, it needs to have this individual certain power. It can't be just a nice picture, because there are tons of nice pictures all over the internet that photographers, professionals take, and you forget about them like 5 minutes later, no matter how nice they look.
Yeah, sure. This is something I repeated many times in certain podcasts before about that today. Yeah, there are really I don't know, more nice picture than ugly picture, and in a way, I have to say I search for the ugly picture, but but why ugly? I mean, what is the meaning of ugly and what is the meaning of beauty? So some podcast ago, I asked to someone what is the beauty for you, and I want to ask for you what is the beauty for you.
Oh, that's a very hard question. I think that the beauty lies in the heart of that picture, not in the perfect. As you have noticed, I like imperfections in my pictures. I use imperfections sometimes as the most important medium when it comes to the image, because it can be underexposed, it can be overexposed, it can have a very large grain, and all those things are tools, I think, those imperfections that you can use to underline the elusiveness of the moment, to certain dreaminess of it, that I don't think you can repeat that well with those with that very modern take, when everything is perfect, ironed out, the pictures are sharp, and sometimes they are looking very nice, but nice isn't really beauty. Beauty lies within something more personal. I think the word heart is the crux of the thing, I
So
think.
you are, we can say, the most of the time the subject of your picture.
Yeah. uh,
I mean,
I moved from models to myself.
inside and outside, because if you are not there as a subject materials, there is something about yourself, or your one of your child, or both your child, and or your husband, I can imagine, or
Yeah.
boyfriend, or else.
Well, it has to matter to me, right? It has to be something that is important to me, because otherwise I can't feel, the point of it. So yeah, it's all, I am the focus of it in a way. It's my story. It's my story. Mm,
And first, I'm curious, how old are you?
yeah.
I'm asking to myself, how old are you?
I am 35. I just turned 35 2 months
Okay.
ago.
Okay. You look much more younger.
Thank you.
That's why I was asking to myself.
That's the plastic lens of my camera.
Okay, okay, and there is something, some experience in photography you will like to reach in your life, that I mean, you're accumulating a lot of pictures and a lot of frames, and you are also sharing these pictures. In a way, I think, in a way or another, you will love that, to reach some point with that, no?
It's a constant journey, because I started out with something else. I wanted just to employ film to, well, it all started many, many years ago when my father was taking pictures when I was a child. and I loved his pictures. He was doing slide film, of course, because it was many years ago. And his pictures stayed with me for years. And at some point, I wanted to recapture that feeling. Then I moved to digital because that was a moment in my life when I wanted to try that. Then I went back to film. And I think it's changing. It's like the moving horizon, you know. What I would certainly like to try one day, if time allows and space, would be those old photography techniques like wet collodion, those ancient types of photography, you know, large format.
Yeah.
But they require a lot of work, a lot of space, a lot of time, and
A lot of money.
and a lot of money. At this point, I think both time is scarce, especially time, and I don't have all that much space yet. But there's definitely a plan to try that.
Yeah, yeah, I will love to try to. I mean, I had the possibilities years ago. I tried one time. It's quite difficult, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
I tried also the classic daguerreotype, and also it's really. I mean, it's difficult, but when you learn a technique, everything is become more easier. But it's difficult, I have to say. I mean, it's not the classic picture. We do it usually, you know, you just click the button, put the settings, everything done. No, it's not like that. It's
No, certainly when you are taking candid pictures like I do, you know, of my environment, of my family, well, you can't really do candids with large format, can you? That's very hard to do. But there is a plan, you know, sometime in the future, I guess. Right now, I'm exercising what I found with lo-fi photography. Some people would call it lomography. Um, it has a bad rep, you know, lomography,
yeah.
but I don't mind that label because it's not about labels, it's about the feeling and what kind of photography you actually are into.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I'm curious that have you ever tried to doing to publish this picture of your private life as book or doing exhibition about?
You know, I've never done an exhibition somehow. I don't think I have the right material yet.
Yeah, really? Do you think?
You know,
I have to say
I
that,
have. Thank you.
I'm a curator, and I think you have more than the right material.
I have terrible problem with selection when you are looking at the negative, and it was a problem with digital. And I thought that when you go analog, it should be easier. That there's less pictures, but it doesn't get any easier selecting the right ones. And then there's the aspect of, you know, you have to scan them, you have to do the sometimes the post processing with some of them, and then you can redo them, rescan them.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
I know the
it's a
process.
mess. It's a mess. When it comes to books, I used to do a bit of that on Blurb.
Yeah, yeah, it's I know. I mean, blurb, it's okay, but
It's not perfect.
it's not
No.
I mean, it's not about the perfection. It's about also the um, the freedom do you can have to publish a book, because with blurb the point is, yeah, for sure, everyone can do it a book, everyone can publish a book, but no one calculated that blurb to sell one book take higher expensive price of shipment,
Yeah.
a lot of money
Yes.
on the print, a lot of money on the distribution, and in the end, you don't have the really control of the paper you want, the cut you want, the format, everything, you know. And this is yeah, it's okay if you wanna just publish a book, it's okay,
Yeah,
but if
but
you wanna make a personal project, is totally another level. Then
yeah, that's you don't have enough control. And to be honest, most of my audience, I think, is European, and the prices on
yeah.
Blurb, it's not affordable. It's not affordable.
But the blurb, just to say, no, blurb is from UK, so So they have a company in UK, a company in USA, a company in Canada, and company in Berlin. But the main production is, I think, in UK, if I remember good. So then they react on the price of UK, and that's the point. Like many other printer and distribution, they are based in a country. They have a website for different country in the world, but the base is always in one place and not in. They don't format themselves or change the price in base of country.
No, and Polish market is completely different.
Yeah, you can spend much less than than everyone. No, there are some other countries you can spend less than Polish, but yeah, actually, if you print a book and you distribute a book from Polish, you can doing a good range of money.
Yeah, so I think a book would be easier for me than an exhibition because I like the printed form. For a while now, I've wanted to buy my own printer to do pigment prints of my pictures because I love when the picture is material, when it's physical. This is part of the magic of film for me, that the pictures are real. They aren't just some bytes on the computer. They are actual little pictures. You can take them in your hand. You can take them to an enlarger, or you can scan them. They exist.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are real things. And when you print them as a finished product, right? Finished print, there's so much more magic when you can hold them in your hands or hang them in your wall and just go through the book. And it's something completely different than just clicking through the pages on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, like,
So I love the physicality of the book.
you can see from the project in Berlin Explorer or from my personal website that I do it book. So then
Yeah.
I'm the one print the stuff. But yeah, also even sometimes in the past I had the sick idea to print out all the picture I did, but I don't know now. I don't know if it was really a sick idea or it was a great idea.
Oh,
But,
I've had the same idea a while ago, but it gets pricey over
yeah, but
time.
really, it's not. Yeah, then it's even if you pay 1 cent per print, you will spend a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah, but the feeling of the real picture in your hands on a nice paper with a
yeah,
good
that
ink,
depends.
that's
Depends. The problem is that to move this stuff,
oh yeah, it begins taking a lot of space.
yeah, if you stay always in the same place, it's okay. It's no problem. But when you have to move, imagine to move 10 years of picture in your archive. There are 4 or 5 box only for picture.
Well, that's monumental, right?
Yeah. I know someone printed out only all the picture he did in the life. But yeah, I can imagine also when he die, what the problem is to select this picture.
Yeah, so selection is the key, I think. That's when I think about the books, I think it's going to happen at some point because I think the pictures I take work better as a collection, and they would look better in a book than on an exhibition than they are when they are somewhat separated. So
Um,
I'd
for
rather see them
me,
in a book form. Although if anyone ever offered me an exhibition, I would never decline.
you are talking with the haters of gallery, so I don't really never liked a lot exhibition in my life. So then, because of many reasons, because you can enter inside and you can be lucky to be alone, but yeah, you can be also unlucky to be around a crowd of people, and then you cannot really spend good time to see the picture you want to see or the paint you want to see, and in the end, in a way or another, if you want to go back to watch the pictures, it's always as a cost. So then, and sometimes when you especially in the visual art, it's important to go to watch the picture or the print also after years, and this is something you cannot do it in the exhibition.
No, and there's the thing about exhibitions. They are short term, and you can go back to them. That's true. But also, when you have a book, you can take it with you. It's something that you have, when the client or a fan of your art buys it stays with them, and they can always come back and maybe see a different meaning when they see at the picture after some time. So it's nice also this way. And now also we have the pandemic, so going anywhere to see
Yeah.
an exhibition is a problem. And I don't know when we will be able to go back to the functioning that we
I
used to
don't know.
have.
I'm not creating to myself this problem because in the end I don't like to go in this. But I went to an exhibition some months ago. Yeah, it was not good, but I went, and the point is I didn't miss at all the point to go there. That's probably for me it's much more different to have a book. Some books, particular from Japan, are much more interesting for me than some others in American style. But yeah, depends. I mean, the feeling is totally different because the paper is different, the print is different, and as a concept is much more easier than straight. But yeah, it's
Well, the
we agree
Japanese
on that.
paper has it, right?
Yeah.
It's something completely different.
So
Well, yeah,
thank you a lot for your time and for this funny conversation also in some ways and also nice.
thanks.
And it was nice to see your work because it's really, I think, deserve to be seen because it's really particular
Oh,
and,
it
and unique.
is. It is
And
very particular. That's true.
yeah, and if anyone wants to see your work, can just find the link in description. In any case, and if they want to comment or something, they can find another link in the end of the description, where they can send a voice message to this podcast. And thank you again, Ada.
Thank you so much. It was very nice talking to you.
Yeah, for me too.
It's always nice to talk about photography.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/Berlin Explorer or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.